للقارئ الإمام أبو الفردوس. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين البررة الكرام. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, we are thankful to the Almighty Allah for bringing us together on your interesting program, Islamic Insight, this very wonderful and blissful Friday morning. On account of our promise last week that we want to continue with a very insightful discussion we had with our guest, we have come your way again, once again, with a topic on the misconceptions about Islam, a viewpoint, or Islam, a misunderstood religion, a viewpoint. We are happy to get in the studios once again our guest for last week, Imam Abul Firdaus Basha, who is the president of the Supreme Council for Muslim Youth Union. Imam, assalamu alaikum. Last week, from the discussions we had, I had some feedback, and I think that it was a good discussion. But for us to proceed, maybe just for recap, let me ask you once again, what does Islam stands for?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen, Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. We said it already, and then we are going to refresh our discussion of last week. Islam stands for peace, but peace is a tag of a package that you need to open and find so many things that can allow you to achieve that peace that Islam portrays. So we said Islam is sound mind. When you have sound mind, you can identify trouble areas, you can identify your achievement, you can identify so many things in your life, and that gives you peace. Then we come to say knowledge. Islam is knowledge, because when you seek knowledge, you guarantee a good life, a better life, a respect for yourself, and that gives you peace. Then we say faith. You have a Lord, whether you like it or not, who created you by his will, not by your choice. And then you have an obligation, a duty to offer. If you refuses that, you have to account for your mistakes or your problems. So that if you obey and perform, you have peace with your Lord.
Definitely.
Then we come to patience. You see, when we say patience here, when you are tolerant, when you are forgiven, when you underrate problems, when you consider trouble as ignorance, you have your peace. So sometimes to be patient doesn't mean you are weak.
All right.
You can be strong, you can be powerful, but sometimes even the time to fight your enemy, the time to fight your opponent, the time to waste in taking care of issues that doesn't matter gives you peace. Then we come to justice. Justice and equality. You see, at any time, at any point of time, if you happen to be privileged, to be in a leadership position or in a direction role, and then you play justice, you have your peace. Because in having performing justice or doing justice, you get people's hearts. You get people's heart, you get people's trust, you get people's faith, and that gives you peace. Then when you come to equality, when it doesn't matter who is right and it doesn't matter to who is wrong, which relates to the justice system, also gives you peace. Then you come to what do we call it? Sympathy. Sympathy, and then being lenient. When you have that character, when you have that ability, you also get peace. So last week, there were so many of them that we did not touch on.
Yes.
And also we did not defend.
No.
Maybe possibly people will think that we are campaigning for Islam.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
You know, so when you come and look at what is the trouble point of a Muslim in generally, you come back to Quran and Allah is saying, "Inna aradna al-amanata ala as-samawati wal-ardi wal-jibali fa-abayna an yahmilnaha wa ashfaqna minha wa hamalaha al-insan." You see, Allah have invested so much respect and value in a human being. Why? Because God have created a human being to accept what other creatures refuses to accept, or they declined.
Declined. I mean,
not refuse. Yes, declined. I mean, not to accept.
Yes.
The point is that God said He has offered His trust, moral responsibilities, which is the religion. You see, moral responsibility interprets the religion. Into the heavens and the earth, the mountains. Allah uses these mountains and earth and heavens to set an example because of the size of it. Look at how huge it sounds like. And it thinks that that duty cannot be taken care of by them. Why? You see, the choice making, the allowance of choice making Allah gives a human being makes him very great. For instance, we have angels. God created angels to do the right thing. That is what they know.
That is their nature.
That is their nature. So what is special about them? Because they are made like that. And it is not by their choice, it's by God's make. Just like I said last week, a beautiful woman, if she's sensible, if she's reasonable, she don't even need to bluff.
Expose
she don't need to bluff.
No.
Because that beauty is given without a choice.
No.
It's given by God.
No.
So your beauty is the heart. The real beauty of you is the heart. Because that is what you control, to do the right or do the wrong. So when we look at it that way, a human being have taken that responsibility. But he fails to think. He fails to assess. He took it based on ignorance. So for that matter, God will also not deny him that value and respect he deserves to have. So then he gives you that brain which will regulate things that you do as bad or things that you do as good. So that the bright sense, the bright thinking, that gives you the allowance to differentiate between right or wrong. Now, if you have a bright sense, if you have bright memory, if you have bright thinking, what happens is that you always reject things that does not tally common sense. That's why Nabiullah Ibrahim, when he was looking to identify his God, he was running around, he sees the sun and he says, Hada Rabbi. He says, Hada Rabbi, this is my Lord. He sees sun and says, this is my Lord, because of the atmosphere, because of the way it looks like.
And the character of the sun. I mean,
when the sun sets, he said, no, my God cannot look like that. He can appear and disappear. He looks for moon and wandering about until he gets to know. It is this bright sense that gives him the differences. That gives him the power of analyzing the right and the wrong.
And got him to faith and surrender.
Then when you have that knowledge, what happens is that you are able to identify your God. Because Allah says, never worship me before identifying me. Because if you don't know me and you are worshiping me, you will not give me the right, my right. You will not give me my right of lordship.
I mean, lordship, reverence and everything.
Reverence and everything. You will not give it to me. So even don't worship me until you know me.
So knowledge is
real knowledge. So look at what knowledge stands for in Islam. And then in having that, can you imagine when you break it down, the component of peace that you get into a bright sense and a knowledge, then it breaks down through. This is where you are able to identify your faith, and then you are patient. So when he says faith, when you have the knowledge now, you know God, so you entrust your life and your everything into God. This is where God describes mu'mins by saying, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. Because then, when you have the bright sense, and then you support it with knowledge, and identifying your God through that, then you believe in everything you hear of God. So يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Whatever you hear that God says this, Prophet says this, you believe.
Then that leads you to complete surrender.
That leads you to complete surrender.
That is Imam Abul Firdaus, trying to expatiate more, in a more insightful manner, this concept of Islam, which for many of us, we have inherited, and we do not have a better understanding of it, and that's how come sometimes there's a gap between our lives and the very religion that we all profess. I was going to ask you and hear how you react to this. You mentioned patience, and I was excited because I had some non-Muslim friends before, and after they have stayed with me for some time, and they looked at certain things about me, then they tell me, but you don't look like a Muslim.
That's unfortunate. Because of their misunderstanding.
You don't look like a Muslim
about Islam.
Because they associate Muslims, with aggression, with impatience, with anger, and that kind of thing. Yeah, why is it so?
Sheikh, you see, the problem we have as a community is that we think that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to mankind to waste time or to just spend time.
No.
But he was too much for that.
No.
God was too much to buy time or waste time on issues that has no relevance.
No.
When you look at Quran does not speak or approach any person.
Issue or person.
Any person.
No.
That's why when you come back to the component of bright sense that we're talking about, what God says there, He said, "Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ardi wa ikhtilafil layli wan nahari la ayatin li ulil albab." Do you see people I, Almighty Allah, created, bless them with bright sense? They never sleep because they run around. They assigned their minds to think into heavens and earth to really know what exactly is happening behind all these huge creations.
No.
And that gives them some sense of tolerance, because if God is a package of patience. Look at what we do around. Look at how God blesses us. Look at what God gives us. And appreciation is to wrong Him. The appreciation is to sin. The appreciation is to undermine and underrate the moral values He has injected into us. And He's quiet.
He's quiet. So patience with
what
us.
tells you? The other sects say, like Christians, they say, what do you call it? A human being is created in God's image.
In the image of God. In the image and likeness of God. Yeah.
Likeness of God. So it's part of the respect God gives a human being that He makes him to sound His image. So everything, even the kingdom, when you study the kingdom of God, you see similar things we are trying to copy, or God is directing us to have happiness in even our kingdom, according to the arrangement He has put for Himself. So when you look at patience, for instance, the first, even in the level of the prophet's ignorance about the real religion and God, what happens? Ya ayyuhal muddathir. قم فأنذر وربك فكبر وثيابك فطهر ولربك فاصبر ولربك فاصبر. You see, sometimes we think that emotions, we think that actions, false actions, shows manhood, shows strength, shows faith, and that is rubbish. You see, you can only be recognized as a patient person when you can retaliate on something and you refuse, you deny yourself that. That makes you the special thing.
You have the power,
you
the
have
authority.
The power and the authority. Check, let me set you one example. There was a day when, what do you call it? A village, an Arab man.
A Bedouin Arab.
Yes, a Bedouin Arab comes around the Prophet in the mosque. and then just started urinating at the corner of the mosque.
I can imagine if it is today.
God save him. God save him. What happens is that the companions bounce on him,
Yes.
wanting to kill him.
Yes.
The Prophet said, leave him to ease himself.
Yeah.
Let him be. The Prophet did not even say that, no, don't beat him.
Okay.
Don't beat him, don't kill him, maybe take him out. He says no.
Yep.
In the mosque, he said, let
Okay.
him finish. Let him
All right.
ease himself until he finishes until he finishes his urine completely. Then the Prophet said, did you think you have done the right thing? Then he said, I know I didn't do the right thing,
Good.
but this your companions are stupid. So what happens is that that character of the Prophet being so
lenient,
so
and self-restraining,
and
Yeah.
that kind of patience that
Yeah.
he had. What was the result? He said, God bless me and guide me and Muhammad, and never bless anybody and guide anybody
Allahu Akbar.
apart from us. And then he became Muslim,
Muslim
because
instantly.
of that character.
Instantly. Yeah.
We think authority, even in our homes, we impose powers onto our families. We do everything by command. We don't even, share views.
You know,
we don't seek ideas.
Express love.
We
and
don't
respect.
have that. It is always power here, power there.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. We'll continue. I think that if I allow you, we'll go on and on and on and on and on. But viewers, we wanted to share with us some of these views. But we went around to sample views from ordinary Muslims about. We want to test and see what the Muslims understand their religion. What is the meaning of Islam? So we went around and sample. My producer is ready with those vox pop that was done. Please just be cool, stay behind, and then just amuse yourself with some of the views that were expressed.
Allah knows when you find that special someone, feel your whole life has barely begun. You can walk on the moon, shout it to everyone. Allah knows, Allah knows. When you gaze with love in your eyes, catch a glimpse of paradise.
Musulunci dai ainihin musulunci shine ankuri, musulunci kenan. Amma in kuma an ce musulunci shine mutum ka yi sallah biyar, ka yi azumi, ka yi zakka, ka yi ababai dai biyarin da dai kenan ga addinin musulunci. Shi kansu aka wanga musulunci, amma ainihin musulunci dai shine ankuri. An ce musulmi shine wanda ke amsa salawati, shine sallah biyarin da muke yin kullum. Musulmi shi ke azumi, shi ke zakka. Musulmi shine dan wansa yayi mai abu yake gafara ya yafe mai, shi yake ce ma musulmi.
Mr. Abdullah Yakub, Nima 2 Basic School. Islam means peace and total submission to the will of Allah. If you are a Muslim, you have to do what Allah wants and Muhammad wants. But some of the Muslims, they don't do what Muhammad wants.
Musulunci ya je filas guda biyar. Na farko ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, kai da kan babu wani sarki cikin duniya Allah guda kadai ne, Allah kadai shi yake mabauta kadai. Na biyu kai da kaman annabi Muhammad shi annabi ne annabin da Allah ya aiko karshen zamani ma duniya duka gabaki daya. Na biyu kana da kudi kai ka jaji. Na uku kai ka yi azumi dole in tunda kai musulmi kai da kamar Allah guda ne. Azumi dole kai inda kana lafiya. In ba ka lafiya kuma akwai inda za ka bi kai. Oh, na wani mai sauki ne. Ai sallah ke babata tsakanin ne da musulmi. Wani ke cewa Allahu Akbar da wani bai ce Allahu Akbar. Shi sa annabi Allah ce yake su. Saboda ai annabi ba zo da yaki ba, shi bai zo da yaki ba. Shi fitilla ne aske ma duniya duka. Amma su sun kiya Allah da kace ce yake su har su tuba. Kaga na sai sa wannan bai sallah shi ba musulmi ba, ka kiran shi musulmi, different da kike kenan.
My name is Sisa Aishetu. Nima 2 Basic School. The meaning of Islam is like Prophet Muhammad said that when we wake up, we shouldn't insult our parents. We should go and pray at 5:30. We shouldn't go out. In the evening, we should sleep well and wake up at 12 and pray to God and ask Him what we want in our life.
Thank you so much. For some of you out there, you may be also making your own reflections about some of the views that has been expressed. But let me get back to Imam. And are there some things that you want to say about some of the views that have been expressed?
Sheikh, it's really unfortunate. Because if you take all your life doing things that you did not even know what you are doing, that means it sounds like you have no even value for the life God have given you. And you are going to answer every second of your lifetime to God at the judgment day. And ignorance is not an excuse.
It's an excuse.
Because nobody is created knowledgeable. Nobody came to this world with a pot of knowledge at his back or in his head. You ought to seek for it.
Right.
But you see, sometimes you cannot blame them. Because Allah Almighty says, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. We will not, for the justice we impose on ourselves, will never punish people until we send them messengers to tell them what the religion is about. And then the Prophet Muhammad says that al-ulama'u warathatul anbiya. Ulamas and imams, they inherit prophets. And the Prophet Muhammad says that taraktu fiikum amrayn ma in tamassaktum bihima lan tadillu abadan kitab Allahi wa sunnati. I have left behind me two important tools that if you hold fast with it, you will never go astray. And that is Quran and the thoughts of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where are we from all these things?
All these.
You can be surprised, Sheikh. Our even mentality of religious leadership is lost. Our direction, what are our responsibilities? We consider leadership in Islam as a profession, as a duty, like a return duty, just like people go for civil service. So we expect returns in some of the duties that we perform. And it is an obligatory, it is an individual responsibility. That's why Rasulullah says that بَلِّغُوا أَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. بَلِّغُوا أَنِّي, send my message through, even if it is by one chapter, by one quotation, by one word, that changes something. Let it go. Because it has something to change. So I think that in this one, yes, it's a failure to the Islamic community not to even understand what they do. And that's why you won't be surprised of what happens in our communities.
I mean the things that we see.
Then you ask yourself, where is our ulamas? And what are they doing? Are they really understanding what is upon them as a responsibility?
Or teaching.
Or what teaching? What is the method? Because we won't say they are not doing it.
But maybe they are doing it. But
that means they are doing it wrongly. Or maybe the message is not getting through. Do we assess the results of what we do as preaching?
No.
Of what we do as change? Do we have a target? Do we have Yes, do we have like a target we want to achieve at a particular point of time?
Exactly.
We don't have that. So we are left Muslims are left for anybody to interfere.
Tell them anything. I mean,
just tell them anything.
And then because of the respect they have, once you come as an alim, I mean,
they take it like that. They take it like that.
From different perspectives, we hear now how Islam is being interpreted.
Exactly.
Well, we will have another time to talk more about those things. Now let's come before the time beats us. If I have, given what we just heard, if I have the singular opportunity now, and you also have this only opportunity to tell me one thing or two, what is the mission of Islam for humanity?
The mission of humanity, of Islam for humanity, is hope, good life, and happiness. That is the mission. That's why you have to embrace those tools that Islam assigned you to do. If you go astray of those instructions and directives, then you have problems. Just like I said, part of being patient, as you mentioned, is to be tolerant, is to be obedient. And you see, it is not a campaign. In Quran, God says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ati'u Allah wa ati'u Rasula wa ulil amri minkum. Fa in tanaza'tum fi shay'in farudduhu ila Allah." Look at how religion is for mankind. And then our understanding of Islam fails us to really get through where we want to go. That you who believe, what do you call it? Obey Allah and obey His Messenger. And those who are privileged to lead you, who are in leadership.
Yes, in place of authority.
In place of authority. For any reason, you go for your settlements of differences that you might have back to Allah and His Messenger. Let me break it down for you to see. Now, if your leader or somebody who is an authority in the community and stuff is a Muslim, when you have any differences, you refer back to what Quran says or what Hadith is saying. So you get your solutions there. But for a Muslim to think that, no, for me, if provided my leader or my authority is not a Muslim, I will make sure I destabilize, I disobey and I disorganize issues in faith. There be the Prophet tells you that man kariha min amirihi shay'un falyasbir.
Good.
Whoever of you have leadership or authority that he hates something of his attitude or character or behavior, he should be patient. لأنه من خرج من السلطة شبرا فمات مات ميتة جاهلية. Because for all you know, when you breach laws that you can overcome, when you breach tools of power that are so strong and power over you, and it causes a punishment, it causes a trouble, it causes you death. Don't think that you can be describing such death a religious or faithful death. It is an ignorant death. Because a Muslim should know what is right.
Death
and what
in ignorance.
In ignorance. You see that? So what else do we want for religion to give us as hope, to give us as happiness? Because when you do that, when you are tolerant, when you are obedient, you have your peace everywhere. You have peace, you have happiness, you can grow. Then we come to sympathy. They sometimes look at our society and they say that every little thing we want to kill, every little thing we want to beat, every little thing we insult. It is not a tag of a Muslim. It's not a character of a Muslim to have that behavior.
Yes.
Because do you know what happens, Sheikh? It doesn't matter you hate a Muslim or you hate a non-Muslim. The issue is that at the judgment day, the Prophet says that, do you know a loser at the judgment day?
No.
They say no. They say yes. He said, who is a loser? He said, who goes to the market and do business and loses?
Yeah, and comes back with no profit.
With no profit and even maybe damage his capital. Yes. The Prophet laughs and says, no. The loser at the judgment day, in reality, the real loser is someone who comes the judgment day with full prayers, full fasting, full hajj, full every good things you can name in Islam. He has done it. He had his share in it. But what happens? Shatama hada. He insulted this one. Daraba hada. He beats this one. Safaka dama hada. He backbites this one. Or killed
this one and spilled the blood of this one.
Spread the blood of this one without right. And then God will take His goodness to reward those people he cheated.
Yes, who are the victims of his...
who are victims to his trouble.
No.
And then it comes to a time when he has no even goodness to pay. Then they now use people's, sins to pack on him until it gets him into the hell. What else do you want Islam to ask you to do as a faithful person, as a good, relevant Muslim?
A mission of goodness that leads man to peace.
To peace. That is all about it. And that is why Islam is called peace.
Peace. I mean, it's interesting hearing all these things about Islam, and sometimes some of the things that we see, I mean, happening around us. I agree with you. I think there's a gap in the knowledge that we have, maybe probably because of the methods by which we were all introduced into the religion. But maybe it's time for us now to begin to look at our methods and make amends and see whether we can salvage those who are in trouble now, and also protect those who are coming up, especially the young ones. Yeah. Maybe through their generation, we will see the clear and the real expression of Islam as Allah and the Prophet ﷺ wants us
and Sheikh, you have a very, very big responsibility.
Together with you. Yeah. That's interesting. Well, it's unfortunate we are doing this thing with our big English, but I think we'll find time.
Yeah,
we'll find time
because sometimes our targets are not what do I say?
Only our people,
the senior class, you know.
Yeah. You know, my producer is saying, can't we switch small? But sometimes I'm also afraid we are entering into somebody's area, you know.
And the other thing, the other thing is that taking some of the time, you know, even to break down again, takes out
the flow.
Yeah,
you know.
Takes out the
so
flow.
We'll find time and see how we can. But let me come back. Let me come now to some practical issues. Now, the mission is that it's so clear. I mean, Islam has a special mission of goodness that leads to peace and salvation for man, if you want to summarize. But in practical terms, I want to ask this simple question: how does Islam order life in such a manner that it leads us to the realization of this goodness that leads to peace, that leads to happiness, and completely this leads to salvation? And you just mentioned one which for me clearly shows that then Islam really... I'm surprised sometimes people see Islam as an abstraction.
Yes.
You just quoted a verse that seriously tells us it means Islam respects authority.
Yes.
You just gave us just one. Maybe building on that, we can move.
And check forgiveness.
Yes.
Look at forgiveness in Islam.
All right. Mm.
Even in Quran,
no,
it is not school of thought or anything. It is Quran.
No.
That says, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس. Who repress anger. Allah's mercy be upon people who represses
who
anger.
Suppresses and control their anger.
And then who forgives, who pardon men. They pardon their fellow human beings when they wrong them.
No.
وَلَعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ.
No.
Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu had a little misunderstanding with his his slave that wronged him, bitterly wronged him.
No.
And you know Sayyidina Umar's history.
Yes, I mean he's the
hard character,
very temperate, intemperate type.
Yes.
Yes.
And then he was really annoyed about the situation, and then the servant was so clever. When she saw the action, she knows that there will be trouble. Then she says, وَالْكَاذِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ. He was standing there, he sits down.
He sat down.
He said, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. He didn't say, I have pardoned you. He said, look, I set you free.
Set you free.
This is people.
Just that.
Yes. وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. قَالُوا سَلَامًا. No trouble. It doesn't mean they can retaliate. It doesn't mean they cannot respond. But you see, sometimes when you are even powerful, when you have the capability to respond to problems and you refuse it and you control yourself, you stand better value. You stand better opportunity in the eyes of good people.
All right.
So we come to look at health. What Islam says about health.
Yes.
Look at our environment and what Islam says about cleanliness, about neatness. Check, from the way we prepare ourselves to come and pray, tells you what it's about.
I mean, personal hygiene.
You go and to urinal with water. You have to
Wash
wash
ourselves.
after urinating. You have to wash after easing yourself. This is Islam for you. And it is not a choice issue.
No.
It's not for your choice. You are
It's
not
been
to choose.
ordered
It's been
according to the law.
ordered. It's according to the law.
Yes.
You do all that. Make sure وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ. You clean your clothes. The Prophet says that I hate someone who comes in an environment or who fixes himself into public and then they cannot breathe because of his bad scent. Either from his mouth, breath, or from his
the sweat of his body.
This is
bad
Islam.
odor on him.
Yes, this is Islam. That's why when you are going to the mosque, you have a long process. You have a process to follow. Prepare yourself to really meet people to gain the respect you deserve.
So
to have as a
Islam
Muslim.
then orders us by setting for us standards.
Yes.
Giving us prescriptions.
Prescriptions.
That are moral, spiritual. Physical.
Yes. And then the physical ones are the kind of the nature of our prayer.
Now,
you get exercise. You exercise your body through the system.
As you pray.
Yes, as you pray. You do your ruku, you do your sujood, you stretch your legs, you stretch your knees. Even to the extent, let me tell you, Sheikh, to what extent Islam have gone into caring for our health.
No.
We have this disc in our knees.
No.
That sometimes when it has scratches, the trouble
Yes.
that it causes for your movements and stuff. In the way we go to pray, some people throw their knees to the ground, to hit the ground, thinking that is the faithful way of doing it. No. Islam describes even the way you should go on your knees through how camel,
yes.
What do you call it?
Knees down.
Kneels down.
No.
So you have to throw the hand first
Right.
to give it some support.
Some shock absorbers.
Some shock absorbers.
Yeah.
So that the knee will go gently.
Yeah.
So that you
don't hurt yourself.
You don't hurt yourself. Can you imagine that?
I mean, that's an interesting explanation.
So even prayers, we are not left to handle prayers the way we want. It has a description. This is the way you should do your ruku, to what extent, how you should stretch the backbone,
how
you should get up straightly, how you should go, and all these things. What do we want from Islam than what we have?
When you mentioned about this hygiene and clean environment, something that came into my mind is, most of the time when we are building our mosques, and we use a lot of water.
Yes.
And then we have to, like you said, we have to wash ourselves in the urine, and most of the time the urinary is the last thing we think about.
Yes.
And sometimes when we think about it, it's just a small room, a small compartment somewhere, and we
very
crash ourselves.
dirty and filthy.
Yeah, and nobody cleans it. I mean, if you go around, I mean.
But Sheikh, what do you expect? Even in our homes, how do we handle ourselves? At least for mosques, it's periodical thing that happens to us. But imagine even our homes.
Yeah.
How do we look like?
How do we look like?
Look at even sometimes you see some what do you call it? Some covers, wood covers people put around their homes, outside their houses for
I mean, rubbish.
Rubbish.
To be dumped in.
And then we go in some of these covers, small kiosks, to bath.
I mean, I saw a very nice mosque built somewhere, and then I was driving past the place and I saw, look at this magnificent building. The people had forgotten that
they need
the congregants, those who come there to pray, would need a convenient place to wash themselves and so on. And so now they made a small kiosk somewhere around.
But you see, let me say some of the problems, because of the way we also even underrate ourselves.
Yes.
We think that for any reason, they might do it, and at the end of the day, the funeral will tend to what do you call it, shitting place.
I mean,
people go to funerals and shit down in a mosque.
Yes.
So sometimes we just say, just to go out of this trouble, we just better don't even put it.
Just because maybe we do not take into account these needs of people who come around, and also the need for us to clean this place. Except a few mosques are coming up of late where I think that they are
taking these things into consideration.
Doing well, and that is very. I have some few announcements to make, but before I come up with the announcement, maybe because this is our final discussion on this on this subject. Let me take your. I was going to ask how we can really bridge a gap, but my producer is on me. But let me take your final message on what should we do to ensure that we can now help people who have this deficient understanding, and because of that, many of the things in our communities are going on wrong. So we can transition from this wrong practice of Islam to the real and the correct practice of Islam. I mean, we see a lot of these wrong things going on. There is low morality. Morality is at its low ebb. The actual practice of even worship in itself is a problem for us. Take our Hajj. People don't understand it very well, and they do. Even in the planning of the Hajj itself, that's not something to go into now. We have had our problem over a decade now. We have not been able to put it right, and it's a problem for us. Our educational system, the one we inherited and the one that we are even doing now, still have, I mean, a whole lot of things. Assuming you are given the opportunity now to suggest to us, maybe in some, how we can transit, transitionally, I mean, move from this state to the correct practice. What exactly will you tell us?
Yes, what I will say is that it's better to start late than never.
So there's hope.
But there is hope.
Yes.
So we come back to Nabiullah Yusuf.
No.
Nabiullah Yusuf's father.
No.
When this problem of he and his brothers and stuff, he says, يا بني اذهبوا فتحسسوا من يوسف وأخيه ولا تيأسوا من روح الله إنه لا يأس من روح الله إلا القوم الكافرين. So what I would say is that never mistrust or never lose hope in God's mercy. But you see, we have a lot to catch. We have a whole lot of responsibility on our heads. Because at any time, any of your characters or attitudes signals bad image to Islam, you have a share of it.
You have a share.
You have a share of it. But what we should know is that you are not performing, or you are not a Muslim to please people. You are a Muslim for yourself. You are a Muslim not for anybody, but to make yourself happy, but to make yourself, to give yourself hope, to give yourself a better life.
MashaAllah.
So always concentrate and always remember, kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib aw abir sabil. Be in this world as you are a stranger or what do you call it, a traveler.
A traveler who has a mission.
So any traveler who have good sense, who have manners, will not lose all his clothing out of his
resources,
because they can always say, let's go.
Yes.
So you always leave your zip open, but you have your things inside. The moment they say, let's go, then you close your zip and you are going.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I think in addition to what you have said, we also need to now be more proactive in the way that we tackle issues that confront us. Appreciate our changes of circumstances and understand that our religion has a prescription, our religion has a mission, our religion has a hope to give us, and we must conduct our lives in line with God's will so that we can achieve the peace that you mentioned to us. Thank you so much. Now we have these messages for you. There's a child who is suffering hole in heart, and whose message we want to put across. So just watch on your screen. You see the small boy whose case we want to put across.
Sunana Jiya Salamatu. Na fito Salgan. Abin da ya kawo mu shine yaro nan ga. Tunda na haife shi bai ji daɗi ba. Muna da fama wancan shekaran da ya wuce. Shi dokta ya ba mu takarda mu zo Kwalego. To cikin Kwalego ne muka zo. Shaka ce muna all in heart. Ciwon zuciyar nan shi ke tare da shi. To shi suka ba mu 10,000 euro. Wai bashin da za a yi kenan. Amma mun biya 5,000. Shi muka ce to ba laifi. Muka je muka yi fama hutun wancan shekara. Gaskiya kudin ya kasa gamuwa. Shekaran ga muka samu rabe muka kawo. To mun kawo rabe ko ba su iya su yi muna ba da duka ba. Su kuma da muka zo suka yi muna sabon lab sun gwada cewa wai ciwo ya karu inda yake da yanzu ya fi ga haka, in zai kara gaba an yaya aikin amma bai samun lafiya. To shine muka ce tun da ba mu da karfin shi kamin zuwa gaban nan mu zo mu samu a yi bai yi ba, gara mun kawo kanmu mun roki jama'a masu taimako da za su taimake mu mu samu yadda za a yi ma yaro ya samu kanshi.
When you find that special someone, feel your whole life has barely begun. You can walk on the moon, shout it to everyone. Allah knows, Allah knows. When you gaze with love in your eyes, catch a glimpse of paradise, and you see your child take the first breath of life. Allah knows.
Right, that is the story of Suleiman Zakaria, who needs support. Like we told you, is in need of 10,000 euro, but that now the Kolebu Teaching Hospital will take half of it, and so he now needs 5,000 euro. Please, if you have any contribution to make, you make it into the following account number, which belongs to Metro TV. Yeah, it will come on your screen. So please, we ask you. And then the picture you see on your screen is another very miserable state of Madam Zainabu Ali, who needs another kind of surgery, which they call the posterior spinal fusion. And that is going to be taken by Dr. Jerome Bote. He's going to do that. And she's in need of 3,290 Ghana cedis to do this. And I believe that in Ghana here, we should be able to get people who will come to the aid, of this young girl. We are asking all who are touched by the condition of such girl, who don't know what she grows to become in future, together with the earlier one, the small boy, a 6-year-old boy. We ask you to make a contribution into the account on your screen. That is the Metro TV account, and the number is 114113001430. We ask you, jama'a, wannan roƙo muke yi na fabon rai, saboda addinin tausayi ne ga yaro ɗan shekara 6 da yake da ciwo da ake ce mai hole in heart, abin ya taɓa zuciyarsa, bai iya huci da kyau, kuma idan an bar shi hakan nan a sannu zai rasa ransa. Saboda hakan nan muke roƙo wanda dukkan wannan sako ya taɓa zuciyarsa da tausayi saboda imani, ya yi kokari ya bada nasa gudunmawa ga account number dai mun gwada muku inda muka gwada akan screen na Metro TV. Ita wannan yariya kuma hakan nan, ita kuma Zainabu Ali, ita kuma halin da take ciki kenan, wato bayanta, kashin bayan ya lankwashe, ba ta iya yin komai. Dokta zai mata aiki, ana bukatan kuɗi 3,290 Ghana cedis, wanda Allah ya hore masa ya kokari ya yi taimako, kuma taimakon an yayi shi manya-manya, sannan kuma da ƙanana, dukkan abin da Allah ya hore wa mutum zai iya bayar. kamar da kuka sani, wa ma tuqaddimu li anfusikum min khairin tajiduhu inda Allah. Ga imam nan ga nabar ya sa murya ciki dan so mu karshe wannan sakon mu da shi wannan safiya. Imam, you've listened to us on this special message we are sending across. You said Islam, you mentioned Islam as sympathy and love and care. You just mentioned it just now. But because of our people, maybe, I don't know whether you want to put it in Hausa or in English, just a message to add to what we've just said, and then you end up with your final message also. Yeah.
Jama'a musulmai, Allah madauki, annabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam yana cewa man farraja an muslimin kurbatan farraja Allahu alaihi kurbatan min kurabi yawmil qiyamah. Yace duk wanda ya dauke ma musulmi wani damuwa ko ya sauke masa wata masasi, yace Allah madaukakin sarki rahmansa na kan shi, zai kasance ya dauke masa shi ma wani masasin da zai kan kasance a cikin ranar tashin alkiyama. Kowa kuma yana fakon rahman Allah ran tashin alkiyama. Duk abinda za ka yi ma mutum yau kanka kake yi ma. In ji Sayyidina Ali, wa shi bai taba yin kirki ba kuma bai taba mugunta ba. Aka ce mai in ka ce ba ka taba mugunta ba mun ji, amma kirki dai mun san ka da kirki. Yace a'a, yace abinda nake son ka sani duk wani kirki da nayi makaina ne duk kuma muguntan da nayi yace nayi makaina shi yasa duk wani alheri da zaka yi yau madan uwanka makanka kai kuma yana nan yana jiranka Allah kuma zai ninka maka irin wannan 10 ranar tashin alkiyama.
Masha Allah. So with this, let's now take your. There was a point you wanted to make. I mean, so then we close this chapter.
Yes. So what I will wrap up with is that I want to say we should continue to have hope in Allah.
No.
One important factor that we have to look at is that we must try to identify our potentials.
No.
And work on it.
No.
Because Quran says that Wallahu khalaqakum wama ta'malun. God created every human being with a particular gift that he gives him.
No.
You only need to discover that gift and build on it.
MashaAllah.
And then come to Hassan al-Basri, who was very happy in life and he had no money and people were surprised. Why do you look like that? We see you very poor and you are happy. He says, yes, I got to know 3 things. Alimtu anna rizqi la ya'khudhuhu ghayri fatma'anna qalbi. When I got to know that what God written for me as a wealth, as achievement, is not going to be taken by anyone, any other person, then I rest my I rest my
yes.
Yes, I rest my mind.
Yes.
Because I know whatever happens, I will get it. وَعَلِمْتُ أَنَّ اللَّهَ مُطَّلِعٌ عَلَيَّ فَكَرِهْتُ أَنْ يَرَانِي عَلَى الْمَعَاصِي. And when I got to discover that whatever I do and wherever I am, God's eyes sees me, hears me, then I hate him to see me on sins.
No.
Then
committing sins.
Committing sins. وَعَلِمْتُ أَنَّ الْمَوْتَ مُنْتَظِرُنِي فَاسْتَعْدَدْتُ لِلِقَائِهِ. And when I got to know that for any reason at all, death is awaiting me, then I prepared myself to meet it.
That's interesting. That's highly philosophical and very, very insightful. We want to thank you very much, Imam, for having time to come and share with us the second time this very broad topic of trying to understand Islam. And our viewers, if you listen to us, hope you will go ahead and then search about the true understanding of Islam and practice it in your life. Until I come your way next Friday with another interesting Islamic insight, the Wadata fashion keeps make me looking so nice on your screen. Get to them, you will look so fine. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.